I'm Henadoba, and for Connell McShane, voters in 4 states are making their pick for their party's presidential nominees today. 436 delegates are at stake for Democrats today, 179 for Republicans. Our partners at Decision Desk HQ have already projected President Biden and former President Trump have enough delegates to secure their party's nominations at the conventions this summer. But tonight will serve as a major test for both candidates, starting off with a contest in 3 northeastern states: Connecticut, Rhode Island, and right here in New York. Voters in Connecticut and Rhode Island have the option to join the protest over Biden's handling of Gaza and select uncommitted in the Democratic primary, building on the momentum that shocked Democrats in Michigan and Minnesota primaries. Voters in the swing state of Wisconsin will have a similar option tonight on their ballots: the uninstructed delegation option, which organizers of the uncommitted protest in Michigan are urging Wisconsin voters to select. Now, the primary comes as a barometer for Biden's support in the so-called blue wall state, one which Trump will campaign in today and believes he can flip for Republicans in November. Joining us now is someone challenging both Biden and Trump for the presidency: Dr. Cornel West, independent presidential candidate, philosopher, and former professor at Harvard. Dr. West, welcome to the show. First, I want to ask you about the former president. We just heard him speaking. Your reaction, sir?
Yeah, my dear sister, you don't want to get too caught up in the cold-hearted and mean-spirited rhetoric of Trump that we know he's trying to scapegoat the most vulnerable rather than confront the most powerful. You think that his own family, his precious mother and father, they come from an immigrant family. And if people in that day were saying what he's saying about immigrants, they never would have made it into the country. And so we ought not to get too overwhelmed by the ugly quality of what he has to say about precious people who are wrestling with violence and poverty. We've got to keep our eyes on something much grander and something much greater, and that is, how do you deal with this corporate greed that is crushing people in the United States with escalating levels of poverty, escalating levels of homelessness, escalating levels of workers living paycheck to paycheck? That's 62% of our priceless fellow citizens. So that's, for me, is the focus. If I were focused on Trump, I would be so overwhelmed by levels of despair. How could someone like that even be a serious candidate in the country? And that's a sign of such spiritual decay and moral decadence we don't have time for. So that, for me, I take it in and keep moving.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's talk about Wisconsin tonight. We know that there are some protests that are expected against President Biden. We saw that here in New York City last week. How vulnerable do you think Biden's support in that state is? Because we know it was those black voters in Wisconsin, that one of many states, that helped him win in 2020.
Well, I'll tell you, I was just with March in Los Angeles, and if I were there with Biden appearing, I would be marching against him too. This is not an issue of electoral politics. This is not an issue of strategy and tactics. This is not an issue of checking and seeing what the polls are. No, this is crimes against humanity. This is war crime. This is a crime of genocide. And if you have a moral fiber in your soul, if you're talking about redeeming the soul of America, then you don't enable that kind of genocide against precious babies, innocent people, Palestinians who are being crushed by this Israeli a series of attacks, you see. And so I think we got to have a moral compass. When you're talking about genocide, it could be Jews in Germany. It could be Armenians in the Ottoman Empire. It could be indigenous peoples in America. You're talking about genocide. If you can't lead with morality and lead with some ethics, then it's clear that you are not worthy of any leadership as a statesman. You're just a garden variety politician concerned about the next election rather than the next baby that's being killed by the money and military equipment that you're sending to Israel. And that's a litmus test that is fundamental. I think that would be true for any leader. And of course, we know if those were Irish babies, Biden would probably have a different attitude. Well, that's tribal then. That shows you don't have a serious morality. And I'm concerned about babies of all colors, all ethnicities, all nationalities. They all made in the image and likeness of a loving God.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.